But Minnesota, what I have found in Minnesota is, as my father says, we came to a cold place, but we found people with warm hearts. And now, 30-plus years later, I'm as Minnesotan as you can get. In fact, I was in a deer stand not too long ago. I did not get deer. But today we're standing because my community, the Somali immigrant community, and our broader immigrant community is under assault.
Be happy, because what's taking place between that, if you look at Somalia, they're taking over Minnesota, and we got a lot of problems with the gangs, with all of the things taking place in Minnesota. We have an incompetent governor, we have a dope governor. They can't be happy about what's going on. And if you talk about the Afghans, there's a problem because so many bad ones came in on the planes. They just walked in. Whoever the strongest people were physically in a way, but whoever the strongest, they got on the planes. There was no checking. They just swamped the planes. They took off. We had no idea who they were. Yeah, do you want to ask a question behind?
Me? Hi, sir.
Sure. Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for? But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. And she comes from a country with practically no country. It's devastated, it's crime-ridden, it's a mess, it's a disgrace. And we took their people at a tremendous... We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people. And we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble.
What you very clearly saw in that video was Mubashir, an American citizen, someone who has been here nearly his entire life, tackled, handcuffed, taken into custody for no reason at all, in clear violation of law and the Constitution of the United States, for simply walking down the street and looking like he's Somali. This should make every single person in America, whether you are a Democrat or Republican, livid. For those that believe in the work of the Founding Fathers, for those that believe in the maintenance and endurance of our republic, for those that want to stand up for justice, now's the time to be speaking out. Because I've got one basic question for everybody who's watching, and I'm looking for one basic answer. Are you an American citizen? If you are an American citizen, you yourself may be in the crosshairs of this administration, because in that sense, you're no different than Mubashir. This is a person that was leaving for his lunch break. This was a person who was out on the street doing literally nothing wrong. And what we saw by these ICE agents that clearly did not know what they were doing was violence and unwillingness to hear the simple truth, which he was repeating again and again, which is, I'm an American citizen. Those were the words that he was saying again and again. Those words, if nothing else, should give them a minute of pause so that they could find out, hey, who are you? What's your name? Are you a citizen or not? Have you done literally anything wrong at all other than existing in the world? The answer is, of course, no.
For putting people in jail.
Prosecutors say over $1 billion in taxpayer funds was stolen. Money meant to feed children, house the homeless, and treat those with autism. Those convicted so far are mostly members of Minnesota's Somali community, accused of billing the state for services that never existed. President Trump slamming Governor Walz for allowing this rampant fraud to happen on his watch.
I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into his state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia.
I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals.
The first New York Times reports the group pushed back, warning the state that delaying approval for minority-owned businesses would lead to a racism lawsuit. A later state audit found some officials were hesitant to crack down, fearing racism accusations in the post-George Floyd climate.
Today's episode. Before we begin, we want to make one thing very clear. We are not here to tell you who to vote for. We are not here to tell you what political party to join. We are not here to demonize entire communities. We are here for one purpose: to bring light into places where there has been darkness and confusion. Our goal is to examine public officials with facts, receipts, and clear information, so you, the listener, can make informed decisions based on truth, not emotion, not rumors, and not identity politics. Today's episode focuses on representative factual claims and investigations relating to Ilhan Omar, her legislative record and political priorities. The question of representation. Does someone who looks like us always work for us? How these dynamics affect Black Americans, especially foundational Black Americans, right here at home.
A minute to the gentlewoman from New York, Representative Ocasio-Cortez.
All right, the gentlewoman is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you. Now, as a fellow New Yorker, I think one of the things that we should talk about here is also one of the disgusting legacies after 9/11 has been the targeting and racism against Muslim Americans throughout the United States of America. And this is an extension of that legacy. Consistency, there is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack, except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this body. I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
1 minute.
Desperation. So desperate to distract the American people from their total inability to govern. The GOP is now doing what it is best at, weaponizing hate against a Black, beautiful Muslim woman. Congresswoman Omar's lived experience as a refugee and a child of survivor of war should be welcomed on this committee. It is needed. When you can't pass any bills that actually improve the people's lives, they turn Congress into a place of fear-mongering hate. It is so painful to watch. How ironic that the so-called lovers of personal freedom are now moving to censor Congresswoman Omar in the same week they introduced a bill to ban federal employees from engaging in censorship. Where are the free speech warriors today? The hypocrisy is obvious to the American people. You are showing who you all are, really.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
Omar will not be silenced.
The gentlewoman's time has expired.
To Congresswoman Omar,
the gentlewoman's time has expired.
That our country is failing you today through this chamber. You belong
The gentlewoman is no longer recognized, and the
Representative Ilhan Omar was born in Somalia, fled the Civil War as a child, and eventually settled in Minnesota with her family as refugees. She was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 2018, representing Minnesota's 5th Congressional District, the Minneapolis area. Her political identity is rooted in progressive politics, strong support for immigrant and refugee rights, criminal justice reform, aggressive foreign policy critiques, advocacy for global humanitarian relief, strong positions on international conflicts. She is part of the group known as the Squad, a small group of progressive Democratic members of Congress. Again, we are simply describing the public biography of a public official. Now, let's move into what has actually been claimed, proven, debunked, or documented about her record. This segment is important because many people hear things online that are unverified or exaggerated. We want to separate verified facts, official reports, and public record events from rumors or misinformation. Let's go over the Minnesota campaign finance violations. This is alleged to be factual and verified. Before Omar entered Congress, she served as a Minnesota state legislator. During that time, she was investigated by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board. Here are the official findings. She improperly used about $3,400 in campaign funds. These funds covered travel and personal expenses not allowed by law. She was ordered to repay the money. She was also fined $500. This is a documented, verified, officially investigated violation. She complied with the repayment and the fine. That is the factual record. Regarding the federal campaign finance issues, these allegations allegedly have not been proven. Once in Congress, Ilhan Omar's campaign sent significant payments to a consulting firm owned by her spouse. This raised ethical concerns publicly and politically. However, here are the facts. The FEC received complaints. The FEC investigated and closed the case. They concluded there was no evidence of a federal law violation. Important note, some people may still feel it looks bad, but looking bad is not the same as illegal. Legally, the FEC found no wrongdoing. That is the factual record. What about the sending money overseas claims, common misunderstanding? There is a narrative online that Ilhan Omar is personally sending money to Somalia, Haiti, or African countries. Here are the facts. Individual members of Congress do not have authority to personally direct foreign aid, but they can help foreign aid flow through government agencies such as the State Department, USAID, and congressional committees. Omar can vote on foreign aid packages, but so can all members of Congress, and most do for their interest. Does this mean that their interests align with the people in their district, state, and this country? Are questions we should ask. Is Omar's advocacy on domestic issues affecting Black Americans the same as issues affecting Negro Americans? Ilhan Omar does have a public record on domestic American issues. She has pushed legislation or policy proposals involving student debt cancellation, police reform, eliminating qualified immunity, affordable housing, poverty reduction, workers' rights, and Minneapolis community investments. Black Americans not born in America may feel these issues help them. Negro Americans may feel these policies don't address the specific needs of foundational Black Americans. Both views exist. Our goal is to simply inform listeners of what her actual record shows. Here is where we get into the deeper issue, an issue many Black Americans talk about privately, but rarely gets discussed publicly. Does looking like us automatically equal representing us? Many foundational Black Americans feel that the political system recruits Black immigrants, people of color, first-generation or refugee background candidates, and then places them in seats where the community assumes shared experience. The politician does not actually prioritize Black foundational issues. The district continues to face poverty, violence, displacement, and neglect. The representative focuses heavily on foreign or global affairs. We are not attacking immigrants. We are pointing out a political dynamic that Black Americans have the right to analyze. Representation is more than melanin. Representation is policy, investment, and protection. If you are elected by Black people, you owe accountability to Black people. Some Black Americans feel African immigrant politicians have made dismissive or condescending remarks about foundational Black American culture and struggle. At the same time, immigrant communities face racism and Islamophobia, so the tension goes both ways. This is a real, complex conversation. The key message is, identity is not loyalty. Ethnicity